Hello, and welcome back to some more Hollow Knight. So now, I've got an extra charm notch, so I'm going to take Dream Wielder, because there's a couple of other things that you can use it for to be able to recover, doing the trials, and it's just an all-round handy charm to take. So you can use it to stockpile soul from, like, the Shielded Fools and a variety of other ones. Alright, time for the second one. Get some pale ore. And then we'll probably do Trial of Fools. Although, if this was your first time, I'd recommend getting the Pure Nail at least, to be able to make it easier. Okay, so 6 hits for those guys. That's right, I think there were 3 hits for those guys with Fragile Strength. Those ones are pretty easy to pogo. If you've got 2 of them, it can be a little bit more chaotic. Okay. With Pure Nail and Strength, it should be like 2 hits for them. So you just gotta watch out. Of course, Shade Soul will solve it in 1 hit. Not to mention, doing Great Slash will should take them out. Yeah, 1 hit with Great Slash and your problems are solved. So yeah, that's another reason to also consider nail arts. And spells. Is there still one more? Yeah. Might be able to just get him to run off. And then you get a bunch of Baleflies. So if you just stick on the sides, you can just wait it out. Oh yeah, hoppers are in this one. And grub mimics as well. So that's a good way to quickly clear this wave. We get a big popper then. And then same thing, only less room to navigate and dodge. But if you got the general strategy down, it's pretty easy. Alright, Grub Mimic. It's a little bit on the obvious side when it's the only thing up. And Abyss Shriek can also be really handy for them. So if you've got Dream Wielder, they'll usually stop right before they get to you. And you can just Dream Nail them indefinitely. As usually when there's only 1 left, you'll be able to just keep doing stuff over and over. Since until you kill them, the next wave won't spawn. I don't remember this trial as well as, say, the first or third one. Oh, okay, yeah, this is... These parts of the trial are usually the worst. But if you time your spells effectively... Oh, that's not good. Then you should be able to handle it without too much trouble. As long as you make it through so that you can still heal, then you're going to be fine. These guys take forever to kill. Yep. You're best off trying to get as much of them whittled down with spells as possible, or nail arts, although it's still going to take a while with them. Of course, every time that you attack them, doesn't matter from what, they're going to just shoot out another set of diagonal blasts. So if you also pogo them, that's another way to quickly take them out. Or at least make them less threatening. Overall, not too bad. And then we get the levels. So, this is the same way that you can do it in the Pantheon. If you just Shade Soul when they stop, the pushback is going to be intense. And should keep them away. And then just keep your distance. You can do dash slash if you are so inclined. And it's overall pretty easy. As well, Heavy Blow actually does have some use if you're trying to keep them away and stay on one side, because you really don't want them in the middle of you, with you in the middle of them, so that you would otherwise have to dodge from both sides with the blasts. But if you keep an eye on it, keep them on one side, you Shade Soul when they stop, and otherwise try to keep them pushed back as much as possible, then you can handle them without too much trouble. Because I know that some folks find, like, Radiant Oblobles to be pretty difficult. Or at least, not so much difficult, but more annoying. But the Charm Heavy Blow does help if you're doing, like, Radiant, and you can do a specific setup for that. Alright, so this is where things get a bit more real. So Shade Soul with Shaman Stone is pretty much your best friend for this trial. So the big thing about those guys is if you stay above them pretty well, they don't roll until you're actually on the ground. That's the other good thing about this, as you can more or less use Shade Soul to hit multiple ones at a time because you have so many enemies. But yeah, don't underestimate as to if you've got time like that, there's just one left. You can always just dash slash and have the time to set it up. This one, more Bellflies, you just kind of let those two get blown up. And then these wonderful enemies. Oh, I can't even one-shot them with Great Slash. This is going to be unfortunate. However, Abyss Shriek does work if a good chunk of it hits. As long as they're not hitting you from just being inattentive, you're going to be fine. So Shade Soul works great here. This is why you really want to save Soul. And then there you go, you can clear that pretty easy. Cat aggro. If you time it with Dreamwielder, you can do it without Dreamwielder, but it's much harder. But you can get that, you can get a free Dream Nail on them for a lot of soul. Mantis Petras are probably the most annoying part of this. Oh, he's taking a lot of health. So yeah, if you make it through the Petras without much trouble, then you should be fine. If you get a good Shade Soul on them, then they'll both be killed in one go. I found that if you just kind of super dash close to the floor, then that'll get them up pretty quick. Then you've got Soul Warrior. And again, Shade Soul can work pretty well. If you open with a Cyclone Slash, that can also do pretty good. The Volt Twisters are more annoying. Try to make sure you can Shade Soul to get the Soul Twisters. Because if you can do both of them, then you should be good. And of course, you get a Soul Twister that time. So you definitely want to save your Shade Soul for them. Yeah, don't... Always be careful about juggling that up, because I got lucky there. Alright. You really want to get this guy taken out first. And then just Descend and Dark down. So just like Brood and Moloch, it just has more health. And you can take it out with no trouble. Alright, 1 second, cat aggro. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. So you can Dream Nail these guys, especially if you have Dreamwielder, and you can get a ridiculous amount of soul. If you don't have Dreamwielder, you can still get a few hits off, and you could heal up right now for several masks before the floor becomes spikes. Coincidentally, if you use Dreamwielder, you now have the soul to heal up. Oh. So you've got Primal Aspect the second time, and then a Mantis Petra. So always be ready to take them out quickly. And as soon as you've killed 3 of these, you're going to have the Winged Fools pop in. So taking them out with a well-placed Abyss Shriek, if you have the Pure Nail, it's going to be something like 3 hits if you're using the Strength Charm. So a Nail Art here, or just Pogo in it real quick, is going to knock them down. This is the annoying wave. Abyss Shriek is probably your best bet if you can't kill them in one hit, like with Fury. Of course, unless you're trying to do some sort of challenge run, you don't really need to worry if you take some hits. Goodness. So as long as you get that Mantis Petra done, then you're pretty good. So you see, if you want to recover, you can now do that. You could heal up. And that's the thing. Any kind of wave that has a shield fool, you can do this on. As long as, you know, he has to be the last one standing. You could do this as well with the mistakes. Once you've got your first 2 soul twisters and then 3 mistakes on the floor, you can use them as well. Rude. And then, well, actually, it's the second last wave. This is the last wave. See, quite good. And you can always go for a stronger spell build. It's just really Shaman Stone and Shade Soul that's going to help you a lot. Abyss Shriek helps as well. And God Tamer is... they're going to jump. If you've got the timing down, then you can anticipate when you have to worry about her jumping. Oh. You can also poke her mid-jump if you want to make it a lot more fun. The thing is, you can always just descend in dark. Otherwise, Shade Soul to your heart's content. Either way works good. But when he rolls, you can always be ready, because it's going to target where you landed last, where you were standing before you started the roll. I think once he hits the wall, that's when the targeting begins of where you are. But you can always wait for him to make the landing, jump on him, pogo, and then descend in dark. So you get a hefty amount of geo for doing that. With all the relics I have, it's already going to be pretty crazy. Okay, I have no reason to go down there. Alright, so I'm going to regroup and get certain things like that Grub Mimic Room and Deepness, because I'm not sure if that's the only grub I don't have at the moment. But it's definitely a grub that I want to collect. And I think I'll probably grab the Mask Shard and Fungal Core while I'm in the area. Hopefully I'll remember to do things such as set a Dream Gate. And for now, my cat is being quiet, but I don't know how long that will last. She's been bribed with food and water, but she's perched on the desktop with that kind of ominous, she'll want attention at some point. Alright, so in going back through here, both things that we need from Fungal Waste are going to connect through this room. Because we're going to enter Deepness from the Moss Prophet's room, and then we're also going to go right so that we can get the Fungal Core. Technically, I could probably do both if I really wanted. And if you were doing the Mr. Mushroom stuff, you could start it right up there if you equip Spore Shroom. But I haven't done that in a very long time. So this one's pretty easy to overlook. But if you drop down from there, you go right. It's this wall right here. And you're going to get a bunch of grub mimics. Although it's kind of easy to figure out which one it is. See, like, that's the obvious one. Just break them all, because if you're going for the Hunter's Journal, you need to get them, you need to kill them anyway. Now, I'm not 100% sure that's all the grubs. I think it is. But I'm pretty confident that I might have forgotten one. Because I'm pretty good at having that happen once I reach the end game. However, since I have the collector's map, I can just buy Conqueror's map afterwards. For all the locations and see what shows up. I want to say I've been in Fungal Core already. But we'll know for sure in a moment. Because there's a rancid egg right there. Yeah, I think I've been here. I can't imagine I would have picked up the rancid egg and then decided to not pick up the mask shard. But, oh well. We're gonna just quickly make certain. Yeah, I was here. As you can see, it has been a while since I really focused on this. So there's a few intricacies of what I've done that I've forgotten. Fungal Core is usually one that I put off for quite a while. And so now, we can make our way back to Dirtmouth and begin a large number of fights. So here's the fun part. I need to ditch a few things so I can take Grimchild. I'll take Long Nail. Although, admittedly, it's not that big a deal. I just like the range extenders. I would point out that I'm not the best person to emulate with that. Things like Quick Slash are definitely going to be better. But now we can do Nightmare King Grimm. Finish the ritual, at which point Grimm will leave Hallownest without paying child support, leaving the night as a single mother with her child venturing to save Hallownest. And then he'll grow up and become Grimm Teen, become Silk Song. Now, he almost always leads with that uppercut. Wow, I'm not quite remembering. There we go. You can get 2 masks while he's staggered pretty easy. 3 if you want to be risky. But yeah, if you pogo him and then turn back and hit him, you'll be able to get you'll be able to get 2 hits without much trouble. And he's vulnerable to spells in this phase. But actually hit him is something that I'm not all that great at timing. You can get him with a nail art as well, if you get him at the very tail end. Yep. You can technically heal on most of his attacks. But it really just depends on how much you want to risk it. Oh, that's not a good one. You definitely don't want to be in the corner. That trade-off was not worth it. So you can do that if you want. But getting the time in with it, especially you might not see which fireballs are safe to watch out for. And of course, if you wanted to use spells, there's plenty of opportunities to do so. Like you could probably... no, actually. You can easily do an Abyss Shriek right there. Of course, if you're quick, when he starts this, you can just Abyss Shriek, or you can trade damage if you want to push the fight faster. But probably not ideal. What this fight comes down to is just recognizing the patterns. Oh. Should not have done that. I usually Abyss Shriek Grimm, so I guess I'm trying something new there. Because you can get a lot more damage off with the nail swings. And there we go. Farewell, Grimm. Until Silksong and Grimm team. And then in the third game, Grimm will be all grown up, and he'll get his own game. And then it's time to abandon Grimm as a child for now. He's left to fend for himself. Oh, one other thing. Now that I have all 3 nail arts, it's time to go to Sly and get the charmed Nailmaster's glory. A very exclusive club, so bow respectfully. And then you head off with the useful charm for if you like nail arts. It just depends on the fight. Because some of them aren't really needed. Oh, okay, I just didn't buy this mask shard. I think that's why I kind of forgot. Which makes me wonder, because I'm definitely... Of the 3 that remain, I know that one of them's the flower delivery, one of them's the Seer, so I've got to remember which mask shard I've missed. Okay, I never bought Wayward Compass all this time. Which is unfortunate. The game would have been 10 times easier if I had just used Wayward Compass. Now, I don't really need to buy maps. However, the reason I'm doing it is I'm not sure I got all the grubs. So I want to make sure I presumably got all of them, so that when I visit the Grubfather, I can get Grubberfly's Elegy. Okay, so it looks like I got all the grubs. Presumably. Bretta, you betrayed me! Unfortunately, we don't have time to sit through all 57 precepts. Oh, that's what it was. I never took Bretta's Mask Shard. I think I mentioned that, like, early on in the run, but I just skipped it over. Well, I guess now I know where the other 2 are, so I can get Dying Masks without too much trouble. So now we do Grey Prince Zote, dramatically descending dark in there, because it's the answer to everything. And if you have Dream Wielder, you have it timed for just enough. Grey Prince Zote's definitely not one you want to pogo, at least until he's committed to an attack. Ah. You only want to really pogo him if he's doing the flailing about kind of attack. You get like 3 or 4 hits, and then he'll just drop down. Oh, jeez. I almost thought I wasn't going to have to worry about ads. Okay, so if he does the ads, you can do a Bishri, clear them all out. However, you need to wait a moment, because they're otherwise immune to its start. And if you descend in dark as he falls down, you're usually going to be safe. Now you can also use Shade Soul, but I kind of prefer Abyss Shriek for clearing them out. Of course, you have that kind of problem. Of course, this is just Zote at like using less than 1% of his true strength. If he was actually trying, there would have been no way we could have won, even with a Wayward Compass. And so now we're off to see the Grubfather. And this is going to take a while, because I don't think I came here except very early in the run. Oh crap, I might not even have Grub Song. Actually, I'm pretty sure I got Grub Song. No, I didn't. I didn't have Grub Song all this time. I must be remembering things wrong. This is kind of like a Rashomon kind of thing. Only we need more people to remember things differently than I did. This does take quite a while, especially if you have a lot to sit through. So, generally speaking, if you're doing this for like the first time, you want to come here as soon as you got the 31 grubs. 31 grubs? I think it's 31. So you can get that pale ore. It's probably one of the last pale ores you're going to get, just because getting that many grubs is going to be a while. But that way you can get your nail upgrade. The pure nail is really handy. Although nail 3 is pretty serviceable for most of the game. And now all those grubs are going to be super happy. Nothing bad's going to happen in their life. Especially if you sit at a bench. Okay, so I'm missing 3 charms, of which I don't remember which ones they are. But I'll figure it out between now and next time. See, super happy. Now you might think that this is a bad thing, however, he's just eating them so they can achieve their final form in which they grow a mustache. Well, that's one way to make an entrance. So there's a few other loose ends to tie up. There's the Nailsmith for one, which I'm going to do. I'm also going to go to Salubra's because I'm pretty sure there's charm notches. Might not have even bought all her charms. And although you don't have to buy all the charm notches, being able to use as many charms as you like is always a good thing. I probably don't even need to go to Lem to sell off my relics. Because Pure Nail's 4K geos, so that's going to be a pretty hefty expense. The charm notches, especially the last ones, are going to be pretty sizable of a cost. Alright, so no, it was just the 2 charm notches that I didn't get from Salubra. Oh. Yeah, I'm completely forgetting which ones are which. Also, it's like 3 in the morning, so I'm not really even sure. As there's only a few charms that I really use consistently enough to be like, oh yeah, that's the one I don't have. By this stage in the game, I pretty much remembering one lone charm is going to be pretty hard. Alright, so now I go back so I can get my Pure Nail. So storerooms or King Station, it's your best way. That's right, Sharp's Shadow. That's one of them. I just remembered that earlier on, my entire reason for not going through Deep Nest and Queen's Garden as early as I did was that I put myself in a position where I'd have to go back through Deep Nest to get the Sharp Shadow charm. Alright, so that means I'm gonna have to go back to Deep Nest real quick. But first, I have to go through the waterways anyway, so I'm gonna be close there. He might have won the battle of that super dash, but not the war. So, when you've got enough pale ore so that you can do your final purchase, you're going to then get to do a playthrough exclusive choice to whether or not you kill the Nailsmith, or whether or not you want to spare him. If you decide not to kill him, just go back to Paintmaster Sheo, and then you'll find that they both have pursued a career in art. And then they'll be very happy together. Of course, it'd be an awful rude thing to kill him with a spell right here and now. So in this case, we're going to spare him. However, I'm not going to go to Sheo's place, because that would take way too much time. And I think at this point I don't have anything else to buy unless I really wanted to get Unbreakable Charms, which I'm totally not going to do. It just take way too much time. And I'm almost at the point where it just doesn't matter. Like, unless I'm doing Radiance in the Black Egg, which I really don't need Unbreakable Charms for, then Godholm does not need... Your Unbreakable Charms there aren't going to mean anything. So we're going back in here so we can quickly beat White Defender and get his essence, 300 essence we get, which puts us at 2400 to then be able to get all of the Seer rewards. At which point, we're then going to slip on down, get Sharp Shadow, desperately try to remember which charm I'm missing besides King Soul Void Heart, which I'll probably do and get fixed up for next time, because this was largely to start tying up the loose ends. And I gotta do the flower quest anyway. So this is one of the more fun fights. You're usually safe in the corners. So if you need a heal, that's probably your best bet. Every time he does 3 dung balls, he's going to go up. Roll up in a ball. You can always Abyss Shriek as any time he's going to pop up. Oh, I got too close to him. And of course, if you want, you can always try and juggle him, which is not effective at 3 in the morning. And don't be so close when he does that. He's going to come up 6 times. And if you want, you can Abyss Shriek it each time. Unless he's against the wall. And there we go. So if you wanted to, you could fight him another 4 times. You'll get a little bit of dialogue change, but you're not going to get more essence from the White Defender. This also opens up his fight in Godholm, which is the main reason that I came and fought him, besides the essence thing. Also, he has really great music, and White Defender's such a fun fight, even if it's not all that difficult. Alright, and if you... Shadesel just right. You can have most of them taken out. So this is most unfortunate, but now I have to take the tram back to Deep Nest. Then I can Dreamgate away. So it does help that if you plot out your route a little bit better than I did, as you'll save a lot of time. It just depends on what you're going for. As if you're trying to do the under 5-hour speedrun, you're not going to be doing a full completion. You're just going to want to grab the things that you absolutely need, what upgrades you feel confident for beating Watcher Knights in the Hollow Knight, and otherwise, just skipping as much stuff as possible. And then just slip on through with Shade Cloak. Or if you just feel like you don't care, you can just take damage. There we go. I don't think I'm going to get tired of the dramatic kind of thing. Although I was glad I'm not at 1 health, because that would have been a rather hilarious way to die. Alright, so now I'm going to end it going to the Seer and grabbing all her rewards, and that also puts me in a great position. Oh, who is totally not Willow, which will put me in a great position to start next time and do the flower quest, which puts me right next to Trader Lord. Then I can presumably start the White Palace and find which charm it was that I completely forgot about. Which, if you do forget such things, the Hollow Knight Wiki is really, really useful for that. Yeah, 1200, so... because I did get Dreamgate, I did remember that. So get a lovely arcane egg that we no longer need. And then 1500's your Mask Shard. One of the last Mask Shards you're probably going to get. That or the Flower Quest. Because you can do the Flower Quest pretty early, especially if you just grab Acid Resistance. But the thing is, because of how annoying it is, and having to go through Queen's Garden, you're probably going to put it off until after the Crossroads becomes infected. And now with our Awoken Dream Nail, we can do the White Palace. And of course, if you have 2400 essence, you'll get the last bit of completion percentage talking to the Seer. Since the Radiance apparently made all the moths, and then they decided to fly into the lamp and die. Or rather, become one with the Radiance. And then the Seer 2 flies into the lamp. And now she's disintegrated, and is nothing but light. Alright, so this is where I'm going to end it. Next time I will be tying up more loose ends, finding the last charm, flower quest delivery, preferably with no detours, and we'll see where it goes from there. This should be ending pretty soon. I'm hoping that one more episode, and then I'll be able to have everything that's not Godholm done, and then probably just try and do Godholm on the last time. Nonetheless, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. You have a wonderful day.